Later, Percy found Thomas at the steamworks. He wanted to tell him all about Diesel 10.
Thomas?
Percy, where have you been? You're late to meet Flynn the fire engine.
Flynn flashed a friendly smile.
Hello, Percy.
Percy gulped.
What do you think, Percy?
Flynn really did look fast and fearless.
Sir Topham Hatt has asked me to show Flynn round the island. The children will clap and cheer.
Thomas shoved closer to Flynn. Flynn was important. Percy didn't feel important, so Percy puffed sadly away, and no one noticed at all. Percy was alone at Tidmouth Sheds. He didn't feel special. Then, Percy made a decision.
No one takes any notice of me here. Tomorrow, I will puff back to the Diesel Works. Diesel 10 takes notice of me. Diesel 10 will be pleased to see me.
The next morning, Percy puffed and he huffed. He rattled and rolled, all the way from Tidmouth Sheds and back to the Diesel Works. Diesel 10 was pleased to see Percy.
Hello, Percy. Did you tell Thomas to speak to Sir Topham Hatt?
Percy chuffed and puffed.
I tried, but Thomas was very busy. He didn't have time to listen.
Diesel 10 clenched his claw. Just then, there was a crash.
Oh, dizzy diesels! Who put that there?
Dart, slow down. You'll get bashed and battered.
I am bashed and battered. I've asked and I've asked. We need a new crane instead of old Happy Hook here. Quiet!
Everyone went quiet, except Percy.
Of course you need a new crane. You can't fix an engine without a crane. That's what Victor says.
He's right, Percy.
Diesel 10 lowered his claw.
Very good, Percy. You see the trouble we have. You steamies have Kevin. Poor Diesels. It's not fair, is it?
So, Percy raced to find Thomas. He puffed and he huffed. He rattled and rolled, all the way from the Diesel Works to the Steam Works. Percy burst in. Thomas wasn't there. Percy puffed close to Kevin.
Kevin, I've been to the Diesel Works.
You shouldn't go there.
The Diesels are really friendly, Kevin, but they don't have a crane.
Kevin!
Sorry, boss. They don't have a crane? You can't fix an engine without a crane. That's what Victor says.
I know.
Suddenly, an idea buzzed in Percy's boiler.
Kevin, you could go to the Diesel Works. They need you there. You'd be their hero. That's what Diesel 10 would say, I'm sure.
Diesel 10? He would call me a hero?
I'm sure he would.
Heaving hooks. I've never been a hero before.
Suddenly, Thomas whooshed in.
Percy, I've been looking for you all day. Victor sent me to the search and rescue center to pick up Flynn's hose, but it's not there.
Percy was puzzled.
It's not there? It must be. A friend delivered it for me. He must have dropped it off to the wrong shed.
Then you must find it, Percy. Flynn needs it now.
Thomas, I've been trying to tell you something very important.
But Thomas wasn't listening. He had chuffed to Victor.
Don't worry, Victor. Percy will chuff away fast to find Flynn's hose.
Kevin spoke quietly to Percy.
I've been thinking about what you said, about being a hero. I'd like to. I just don't know where the Diesel Works is. Is it a long way?
Kevin, please. How many times do I have to tell you? No chitty-chattering. You too, Percy. Puff along. Flynn needs his hose.
Of course he does, Victor. Very sorry, Victor. Right away, Victor.
At the Sodor Search and Rescue Center, Percy looked for Flynn's hose.
I'm sure Dart must have delivered it here.
But Percy couldn't find Flynn's hose anywhere.
Can we help you, Percy?
No, thank you, Rocky. I must hurry.
And Percy whooshed away. Percy searched on all the tracks. He huffed and chuffed until the daytime turned to night. And still, he hadn't found the hose. Then Percy screeched to a stop. His eyes popped wide. Flynn was in Percy's place at Tidmouth Sheds, next to Thomas.
Percy! Good to see you! Thomas said I could ease my axles here. Until you came back, of course.
Percy wheeshed, and Percy whooshed. He was upset.
Where have you been, Percy?
Percy looked at Thomas. His best friend didn't feel like his best friend anymore. That made Percy feel lonely. It made him want to be with his new friends.
You can stay in my place, Flynn. I am busy. I have to puff away.
Percy had made a decision. He would take Kevin to the Diesel Works. He would help his new friends. At the steamworks, Kevin was alone. He trundled around tidying up. Victor was asleep. Percy whispered and wheeshed.
Kevin? Kevin, I've had an idea.
Kevin was puzzled.
I can take you to the Diesel Works. We'll go right away. They need you.
And before Kevin could swing his hook, he was up and away on the flatbed. Percy puffed and he huffed. He rattled and rolled. Kevin jiggled and giggled. All the way from the steamworks to the Diesel Works. Diesel 10 was delighted.
Kevin, welcome. We are honored, very honored indeed. We need you. You are a hero.
Kevin beamed. Dart and then clanked over.
Hello.
Dizzy Diesels! Time to sling that hook, Kevin!
Very good, Percy. Very good indeed. I'm very pleased you brought Kevin to us.
Thank you, Diesel 10.
But what about Thomas? Have you asked him to speak to Sir Topham Hatt?
Percy puffed. He didn't want to tell Diesel 10 that Thomas was too busy to listen to him. Percy didn't want Diesel 10 to be cross with him.
I'm sorry. Thomas is especially busy. He hasn't time to talk to anyone, but I will ask him. Then he will tell Sir Topham Hatt you need a new Diesel Works.
Diesel 10 clacked crossly.
Then you must bring Thomas here. That way we will have his full attention.
Percy's wheels wobbled. Diesel 10 was serious. Diesel 10 was scary.
Yes, I'll bring Thomas to you.
Percy smiled. He wished weakly. He knew Thomas wouldn't want to come to the Diesel Works.
Good, Percy. You and Kevin will stay the night here now.
No, not again.
The next morning, Percy clickety-clacked along the track. His boiler bubbled brightly. He had stayed the whole night at the Diesel Works.
I'm sure no other steamy has ever done that.
Percy chuffed cheerfully into Knapford Station. Toby steamed with surprise to see him.
Where have you been, Percy?
Thomas has been looking everywhere for you.
You weren't at Tidmouth Sheds.
Thomas is worried.
Then Thomas wheeshed in.
Percy, where have you been?
Percy puffed proudly.
I spent the night with my friends.
We're your friends.
No, I was with my new friends, the Diesels.
The Diesels?
They think I'm special. Diesel 10 said so.
Diesel 10?
The engines shuddered and shook. Then Gordon thundered in. His cheeks were red. His wheels were whirring.
Kevin's gone from the steamworks.
Percy was proud.
I know. He's being really useful.
Where?
At the Diesel Works.
Cinders and ashes. Does Victor know?
Percy wheeshed.
Not yet.
Then you have to tell him, Percy. We must whoosh there right away.
Thomas was worried about Kevin. But Kevin was having fun at the Diesel Works with a new friend.
Ready, Happy Hook? Swing the hook! This is fun, Happy Hook! Swing the hook!
Kevin! I don't have time for silly games. Please, move that garbage.
Yes, boss.
It's not fair.
At the Steamworks, suddenly everyone was listening to Percy.
The Diesel Works is old and oily. They don't even have a crane. That's why I took Kevin there. They need him.
Victor was upset.
I need Kevin.
Percy looked at Thomas. His best friend still wasn't listening to him. So, Percy made a decision.
Victor, I know you want Kevin back. Thomas must go to the Diesel Works to collect him.
The engines were silent. The engines stared. Percy felt powerful. Victor gasped.
Trembling tracks. Sir Topham Hatt must know about this.
So Percy puffed and he huffed. He rattled and rolled, all the way from the Steamworks to the Diesel Works. At the Diesel Works, Diesel 10 smiled his biggest smile.
Thomas will be here soon.
And where is Victor?
He's gone to tell Sir Topham Hatt.
So, Victor has left the steamworks.
Yes.
That's good, Percy. Very good indeed.
Percy was puzzled.
Percy, we are going to do something very special. We are going to take over the steamworks. And you will lead us. When we have the steamworks, Sir Topham Hatt will listen to us. And you will be our hero.
Percy whooshed.
But what about Thomas?
Diesel 10's claw clanked.
Thomas will stay here with Kevin. Then I will send for him to join us when Sir Topham Hatt has listened to me. Are you ready, Percy?
Just then, Thomas rattled in.